Hi guys, Ola here again. So today I want to talk to you about home theater systems, and by home theater systems I'm primarily going to be talking about media players. And if you are a part of the Apple ecosystem, then most likely you're going to get something like, first idea going to come up to your mind is, well, I'm going to get Apple TV. And Apple TV4K was recently released, like last WWDC, and it's on sale now, so everybody's getting that. But the biggest concern which I have with Apple TV is that it's mostly concentrated on the picture quality, and it's got HDR and all these bells and whistles. But if you talk about sound quality, then we're still talking mostly Dolby Digital and 5+1, and maybe a little bit better than that. But if you talk about Dolby Atmos or true DTS-HD or HD sound like DTS Master HD and stuff like that, then Apple TV is not supporting it, and it is kind of on their timeline to get supported, but we don't know when it's gonna happen, and if it's gonna happen in Apple TV 4K interaction, or it's gonna be the next Apple TV box which you'll have to upgrade again to get actual sound quality which you like. And Dolby Atmos and DTS-HD is one of the standards right now, which were moved to the homes from the actual theater systems, and most of the receivers and players supporting that standard. And Dolby Atmos is not something like new, so Apple could have easily integrated that into Apple TV 4K, but they decided not to do it, and it's following probably the Apple's mantra for not being the first to the market but being the best at it. But if you ask me, Dolby Atmos is on the market already for 2 years at least, and being the first is kind of way far behind already. So it's time right now to actually get it, and maybe they're gonna be the best at it. But as far as I know, and based on my practice, most of the receivers are actually decoding Dolby Atmos and DTS-HD much better than actual players do. So for player is more convenient just to let the signal pass through, and once that's done, then decoder on the receiver side will actually do the job for you, and believe me, they're very good at it. I was on the market to get this kind of player right now because my previous Minix player which I have right now, which is one of the U8X Plus, that one is understanding and providing pass-through for DTS-HD and Dolby TrueHD sound and all that stuff, right? But then you actually go to the receiver side and look at it, it will play, but it will not decode it and detect it as Dolby Atmos, for example. I downloaded and using right now Dolby Atmos demo disc, and it is playing on my previous Minix, but it doesn't indicate that the signal we are getting is Dolby Atmos. And I looked at it, and I even upgraded the KODI version of that Minix to the latest supported by Minix, and it still doesn't cut it. I downloaded it from official Minix website, and it is recommended to get upgraded. It started to play, and it's actually showing you DTS HD or Dolby HD icon on the video, but the actual receiver doesn't understand it. I was looking for something more robust, and the latest and greatest from Minix is this box here. So it's NEO U9-H. I got it as well. So this one got understanding of and full support of multiple formats, and also it's 4K and HDR, the same as Apple TV 4K. But it's also providing lots of other compatibility standards, and it's much better deal if you ask me. First of all, it's 8-core CPU, so it's very fast. It's 3x GPU from the original Minix U8. It's got 2 gig of RAM, and it's got 16 gig of internal flash, but basically what I'm using for this guy is I'm not downloading the games or anything of that nature and planning to use it, but it's mostly KODI player which I'm using, and I'm streaming data and files from my library or from the sources on the internet. It's the latest Android 601 and it supports HDMI 2.0, so it's going up to 4K 60 Hz, and it supports all the standards for sound, including DTS-HD and FLAC and all that nice standards which we would like to see in the modern media player of 2018. So it's also got RJ45 connector and it's wireless AC. So from this port it's dual band wireless AC, so if you want to connect through the wireless, no problem, it will connect and the speed's going to be very good. It also supports H.265, and that's a big step forward because the previous Minix didn't support that. Much better quality, but still having size which is smaller versus original H.264. Let's do unboxing on this one, and after that we're gonna do the test of the videos, and hopefully, I'm not sure if we can get it on the camera because my camera is the Sony, this little guy here, which I'm doing the video with for the, it's Sony Mark V, but it doesn't support the, you would not be able to probably hear the difference, but I will do my best to show you what it is when you like listen in normal DTS, for example, or Dolby Atmos. It's big difference. When you open the box, you'll get your player here. I put it already, it's installed, so 4K Ultra 265. It's got XBMC version of it, Android 601, dual band connector for the actual Wi-Fi, 8-core CPU, 3 cores GPU, 2 gig of internal storage DDR3, and 16 gig of flash, which is installed already in this player. But this guy also got connector, so you can get micro SD card installed and that storage will be extended. From the perspective of the cables, here's the adapters for multiple different countries, so you can stick it into the actual power supply and you can get things like for connection in Europe or any other country. You can get your HDMI cable here. There is one remote which is slightly new design from the previous version, and there are like USB cable. Okay, pretty standard startup message from Minix screen. That's Android starting. Alright, so as you can see, launcher for this guy is slightly different right now. So it's not the original Minix, which is different UI altogether. So go to the apps, and this is our KODI. So setup here is pretty standard, so you'll probably have to set up your IP address if you don't want to use dynamic DHCP provided IP. You can get that from the settings here. So here we go with the settings on the new Minix. So if you go to the sound system over here, you will see that this Minix got bigger variety of the menu. So you have Dolby sound, you have DTS sounds, you have digital sounds, and you have sound devices. I think this is what drives the actual ability to play DTS-HD and Dolby HD and Atmos. On the previous model of Minix you would not see this. You're just gonna see system sound, Dolby sounds, digital sounds and sound devices. And it's 17.3 Krypton. The big difference between these two guys is on the system settings. If you go to the system interface and go to audio, then you will see here there's a tons of new options for the sound, and this is mostly important ones: TrueHD capable receiver support and DTS-HD capable receiver support. Right? You're not gonna see these particular settings on the other models of Minix, but it's supported by the actual Krypton 17.3, so it's mostly feature of the KODI, but 17.3 will not be listed as available applications for the actual previous model of Minix. Right, so let's go back from here. Let's go to files. So let's go here. Then your receiver will automatically switch to Dolby Atmos, as you can see here, right? placed right now from all speakers, including the ones on the top. Perspective of the setup, this is what I'm talking about here. So if you go to receiver itself and do speaker configuration, right? Basically this is what I have right now set up for my receiver. As you can see, I have height speakers as well engaged, but I'm gonna shoot it's an actual subject for the whole new video to how to set up your receiver to optimize for your environment to make sure your Dolby Atmos experience is at most successful and the most pleasant. That's based on the receiver you have. I have ONKYO receiver, and that's NR1030. That's Dolby Atmos capable receiver, and it's got a lot of outputs on the back. But I'm gonna shoot separate video just for that to explain to you how my Dolby Atmos setup is done. So for that, let's go to speaker configuration. This is what I have right now. As you can see, I have speakers on the ceiling, right here, here and here, here and here. I have subwoofer, which is one, maybe it's good to get the second one because receiver allows that. I have central speaker, I have speakers on the front, which are pole speakers. I have speakers in the middle, which are these guys here. And I also got speakers on the back, which is surround sound speakers. And to make sure all of those speakers are engaged in your Dolby Atmos environment setup, you need a signal to be able to pass through from the media player to the actual receiver, so receiver can interpret that and play it for you. Otherwise, you're gonna lose either those speakers on the top and not gonna be engaged, or some of these speakers are gonna be just sitting there and there's gonna be no sound, no discrete sound out of those. So then you get your Minix. I highly recommend you get this remote. This is, I think it's A3 called the remote, and it's got keyboard on the other end, which is very useful. Okay guys, so this is what I have right now for the new Minix setup. I think it's much better than actual Apple TV4 because mainly it's capable of driving that HD sound, and that's changing your experience completely when you're watching the movies. Even though Apple TV is convenient in terms of you can stream to it, you can use AirPlay, you can actually stream from your iPhone if you want, you can play your library. If you have any movie purchased directly from Apple, then you will see those. And the quality of that will be updated on the video side to be 4K, but that's Apple will do for you automatically for all your new purchases. But for the actual sound, it's not going to be that good as Minix, and that's why I highly recommend you actually consider looking outside of the box and outside of the Apple ecosystem into something which is delivering more but for the same price tag. Alright guys, that's it for today's review. If this video sucked, you know what to do. If you like it, give us thumbs up, subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends. As you can tell, it's currently been a very busy month for me, so I was not able to deliver lots of videos which I was planning to do initially, but I'm planning to keep up right now with the pace and at least issue one video every week or even more often, because I have more exciting stuff for you which I have in the books planned, but just simply because of the lack of time I was not able to do it so yet. So stay tuned, and if you want to get these videos and make sure you're informed when the new video is released, click that subscribe button and I'll see you soon. Peace. One question for my audience. I also read that you can play through Dolby Atmos and Dolby HD and DTS-HD using PlayStation 3 Slim. So it's gonna present it using PCM multi-channel. I did that setup, but my receiver ONKYO NR1030 is still not seeing the disc which I recorded that videos which I showed you previously. I put them on the Blu-ray disc, recorded it, and I tried to play it on PlayStation 3 Slim with all the settings which I recommended, but it still didn't play as expected. In fact, it didn't play any sound at all. If I put my normal DVD disc, it plays over HDMI, no problem whatsoever, and Dolby HD is just not there. So if you have a solution for this, I would appreciate if you can put them in the comments down below, and I will check it out, and if that's gonna work for me, I will shoot another video and I'll share it with the rest of the audience. Thank you for that, and talk to you in the next one.